Have a crazy show, just like I promised you guys for the month of December. I'm going to have a bunch of fun and exciting new things going on. And so tonight I welcome Anastassia Grace.
Hello.
And Jennifer. How do you pronounce your last name?
Laleh.
Laleh. I tried to do it in my mind. I'm like, I'll just let her do it just so everybody gets the right name. And of course we have Stephanie Burke, as always, keeping the chat room up to date with everything. Well, I want to say thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks
so
for having
excited.
us. I'm really excited.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too. You should have seen us. We were putting like tons of makeup on because I'm thinking like, I hope we don't look we don't want to look too dull and then we were getting nervous and the sweat pit happened. But we all know because I talk about it all the time whenever I have the show. I'm like, I'm sweating, I'm a little nervous. Yeah. So anyways, did you guys have a good Thanksgiving?
Yes, very good. Low-key. We're low-key. Yeah. How about you?
I loved it. I pretty much gained about 10 pounds, so I'm trying to walk it off.
That's the point.
Yeah, it's really not helping. But anyways, I wanted to have you guys on the show because both of you guys are so unique. You're so different, but yet you guys came together and created this wonderful retreat called Soul Sisters Retreat. Yeah. So first I want to talk a little bit about you guys on an individual basis. So Anastassia, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So I am a spirit medium. I met Tiffany, I don't know how long ago.
At the
a few
Hope
years ago,
Floats
probably.
Retreat, yeah.
And had a connection right away. I basically do the same thing she does, connect to the other side and bring through loved ones who are in heaven. I guess I'm an intuitive and I love what I do. Maureen Hancock and Candace Dalton, it all runs through our family. That's my aunt and my cousin. And it was a gift that I guess I was born with that I wasn't always sure about and then I tried to push away for a long time. But since have kind of found my way and now I'm truly welcoming of it, probably too much, I don't sleep much. And I love what I do, so I connect you to your loved ones on the other side. Yeah.
See,
so.
and it's funny because I'm glad that you actually just went over how it happened for you because that's always the number one question that we get in the chat room.
Yep.
How did it happen? You know, when did you start sensing things? You know, so
I had intuition all my life, but I thought it was just normal, and I think everybody does have, and I think everybody can do this. I believe, maybe to different extents, but when I was about 14 or 15 years old, Maureen, my aunt, sat me down and just said, I want to see if you can do this. I guess I was always saying things like, ask him this or ask him that, and then I would run away. And I sat down and did a reading, and it just ended up being really accurate. But I didn't believe it still for a long time after that. And it wasn't until my brother, Sean, passed away that I, really made that connection. And this is why I do what I do. Take it very seriously. I take a lot of responsibility with it, and that's why it took me so long to start. But I love what I do. I really do.
Well, I'm glad that you brought up the responsibility as well because Steph and I, we always talk about how it is. It's very, you have to be responsible for what you do and what you say to people because, it's a very delicate situation.
It really is. Yep. And it comes for me right from God. I don't get anything bad or, weird. It's a natural instinct, and I think one that we all have, and just kind of tuning into that helps. And so blessed to reconnect with my best friend, Jen. After so long, we went to college together and had lost touch. She moved, and one day, I swear the universe just said, where's Jen? And I went to Google her and found her, and we ended up hooking up again.
Stalker style.
Yeah. Totally.
She's a magnificent
I have all the goods. I have all the goods.
That's what I call myself. I'm like, oh, I noticed on Facebook. You're like, how did you know?
I like 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
No big deal.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but
It's all good.
I'm the same way.
Yep. And so I love to connect people to their loved ones on the other side. Like I said, it took me a long time, but really happy that I finally come into my own with it. I always struggled with anxiety. It was always a source of, fear for me of what if I start this? What if I'm wrong? Or what if this or that? And I finally just one day after my brother passed stood out the window and said, show me the way. And that's what happened. So that's why I do what I do.
And I feel like that always seems to happen. Like you get to a point where you're almost at your breaking point or you're at a loss where you're like, I don't I have to throw my hands up and just say, all right, somebody help me out.
Yes.
You know, and if you just listen and if you're aware, it will all just come together.
Yeah, and I think we're taught so much to be intellectual or be smart, or, you know, I think that we lose sight of our intuition, you know, and of our spirit sometimes. Right. But if you can just tune in, which Jen helps do too with your meditation, and really find that peace from within, that's where the magic happens. It's so complex, I think, but so simple at the same time. But she'll talk more about that. That's her expertise, not mine. I always call like, what do you think? You know, because I am so sensitive. I think I feel so much just with what I do and what we do, that it's hard to balance that. But, you know, meditation helps for sure.
And it's hard to be objective for us, like towards ourselves, anyways. You know.
Yeah.
It's a daily struggle, you know.
Yeah, it really is.
So Jen.
My turn.
It's my first time meeting Jen, and I was so excited. I can't even say her last name, but by the end of the show, we'll say it slow together. Okay, so
we'll practice.
So it's nice to meet you.
You too, finally. I've heard all about you too. She loves you, so I love you too.
Oh, we just love each other. And Steph's over there. She's like, she's like, I'm writing the questions. I don't feel any love right now. I'm only kidding. So Jen, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Where to begin? I don't know.
No, well, I'll tell you something. I was on the Soul Sister retreat website, and I was reading a little bit about you, and I noticed that you taught the meditation.
Yes.
You're also a certified yoga instructor. So, tell me about that.
Okay. It was about 2 years ago. I've always done yoga. I think I found yoga when I was about 17 or 18. And 2 years ago, I met a man, a very, very enlightened being, creature, thing, I love. And he did something to my forehead. I called Stash right after. It was the craziest experience I've ever had. He touched my forehead, and my body just shot with light. It was like an intense experience. And so I was like, Stash, I met this guy, and he did this thing to me, and what does it mean? And it was the energy, and it was crazy. And he was a very, like, happy, peaceful, he's the happiest person I've ever seen. And I was like, what is this man? What is this energy? And so, needless to say, quit my job, basically stopped talking to all my friends, except for that one.
Corporate, I'm out.
Yeah, I was like, really, I was a lawyer. I went to law school. I was doing very, very corporate work, in-house legal work.
I love this story.
And
because it's so empowering.
It really does.
I was
Sorry,
miserable.
I'll stop.
It's okay.
I'm like,
shut up, I'm talking.
I know.
But so yeah, it was such a profound experience, and to see an example of somebody so happy almost for no reason that I had never seen. I was like, this man knows like the secret of life, essentially. And I was like, Stash, I don't know where he came from or how he knows what he knows, but I'm gonna find out too. And so quit everything, dropped everything, and just kind of learned from him and did whatever he said.
Talk about taking a
leap
of faith.
Really. Yeah, I spent all my money down to, like, it was to the point where I had a year and a half later, I had $200 left, no job, no nothing, and I went to him and I was like, what am I going to do now? I have nothing, because I really just, I went all the way with it.
She gave her sofa away, she had a blow up
I gave my clothes away, I forgot about all that stuff. So the first thing was I started meditating, quit my job, quit my identifications, I guess, with the world, like my clothes, the way I did my hair, my attachments. I kind of let them all, I gave them away or let them fall away, and just really went within for a very long time.
Thing to do.
No.
She's her girl.
It was traumatic, but in a good way. I did it to myself, because I wanted to know, who am I and what am I beyond all of these identifications that I have.
Just let go of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go on.
Over about 2 years. So, during that time, I guess the one thing that my teacher really told me is to just go within, meditate. He had me change my diet a little bit, and there was no TV, there was no alcohol, there was no sex, there was supposed to be no sugar, there was a little bit.
Just cupcakes.
Yeah, just a few cupcakes here and there. But I really just kind of simplified and purified all areas of my life, from diet to entertainment to friends to family to money to appearance. And I don't know, I'm slowly making my way back into the world. Pretty recently, within the past few months, I started working again. We started doing these retreats. I've come to a place where I have peace regardless of what's happening around me. And I want to share that with people, even if it's to a smaller extent. People don't need to quit their jobs and go as extreme as I did. I don't think it's possible for most people. But you can get a taste, I think, by learning to go within a little bit and center yourself, which there are techniques everybody can do, whether you only have a couple minutes a day or you want to take it to a couple hours.
Well, I think now, even more so than ever, especially with like Occupy going on, and the economy is, you know, pretty bad. It's going down the tubes. We as humans pretty much are kind of, how do I want to word this? We pretty much have no choice but to start looking within. And I believe people are now looking for higher answers because they don't know what else to do, because they, you know.
It's that point of being broken, I think, to a certain extent, where you're forced to go within.
I mean, there's a couple things to that. Of course, the human experience in nature is always going to be a struggle. It's always going to be fragmented. It's always going to be difficult. It's always something, if you look past it generations, whether it was the Great Depression or Occupy Wall Street. But that being said, I think the amount of difficulty that people face now because of technology, everything's on such a great scale, especially in this culture where we're driven to want and succeed. The stakes are so high with everything.
Immediate
that I think,
gratification.
it's difficult right now, and the time that we live in, I think, is pushing people to seek a higher level of consciousness, or to seek, people are talking about this movement everywhere, whether it's true or not, who knows, but it's definitely, there's something there where people get pushed to go within. Like Sash said, when you feel out of control to the point where you don't know what to do, oftentimes, like you said, you throw your hands up in the air, and that moment of letting your ego drop, or your personality, or your mind, whatever you want to call it, once that drops, then you can open up to the higher force, or the higher energy that kind of animates us.
That's one of the actually, I was at the first night that I met you was at the Hope Floats retreat, and I was at a point in my life when I was like, somebody, you know, anything, and the way everything just kind of fell into place. I ended up doing readings there that day, and I remember sitting in this, because Hope Floats is in Kingston, Mass, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's on,
you've been there.
You did your first reading there.
Me too.
So nervous, like in the bathroom praying, like, God, please help me do good. Like, you know.
And you killed it.
Yeah.
It was just
still nervous though.
But I was in the same situation, and I remember sitting in one of the bedrooms waiting for like people to come in to start doing readings, and I'm by myself, and I'm looking around. I'm in this big rocking chair, and I look over, and there's this embroidered pillow that says "Follow your heart; it knows the way." And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I think there's something magical when you give your power to God or to the universe.
Even just to your heart. Like you said, a lot of people spend their life in their head, literally lost in thought.
Logic.
And it's the mind that is that controlling, anxiety-ridden force that makes people feel so constricted and tense. And a lot of times when you do feel out of control and you reach some kind of rock bottom or some kind of difficulty, the energy, when you let go of the mind because you just can't control it, the energy moves down to the heart space, and when you move from there, that's where God or life with a big L or whatever you want to call it.
I know, I feel it.
When you move to your heart, that's, so that's a good pillow.
Well, we do have some questions, and I want to, before we start talking about Soul Sisters retreats, because I know there's a lot of questions that I have for you guys about that.
Sure.
Steph, can you just give us maybe a couple? And
I have 3.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the Stasha questions. Does Stasha use a power of protection before she does a reading?
So it's kind of an interesting question. And I grew up with different belief systems, so it's a little bit different for me. But I believe that I'm protected no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, without doing anything. I kind of ask just God to be within me through my words, through my actions, through my readings, every day. So for me, it's not like I would do that right before a reading. I kind of just welcome that energy with me all the time.
All right, next Stasha question. How did Stasha feel when she first realized she could help a person with her mediumship?
Scared. Really, it was literally petrifying for me. I remember like I would know things when I was little, or would ask people about certain things, and I would look at them like, you know, why don't you know that too? Kind of like, come on, you know that, and they'd be like, what are you talking about? Or how do you know that? But it was the responsibility was the scariest part for me. So I started reading, like I would read online all during college. We met at UMass Dartmouth, so I would read. My roommates would go to sleep and I would read online, people based in London, and I would bring, my roommates thought I was totally cuckoo. Now they finally believe me, but I love them dearly. You know, I got to a point where I started, Maureen Hancock, my aunt, was starting to film for her TV show. And I had no intention to be on the show. I didn't want to read. I didn't want to do anything. And her son broke his leg at football practice. And she had a show of 60 people. And she called me and said, you have to do the show. And I'm like, you're crazy. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, anxiety. Talk about panic attack. And I remember Candace was there with me. And she started to go up. And I said, I can't leave her alone. And so I felt an obligation to go up. And I started to read. And I never stopped since. So that's how I started in a roundabout way. I'm glad I did.
Next question is, can anyone of any age do yoga and meditation?
Absolutely. Like I said, I started when I was about 17, but I've been living in LA for the past 7 years or so, and I just moved back, but in LA they have yoga for little kids, for like 4-year-olds, and prenatal for kids in the womb, basically. The thing with yoga, I think a lot of people get attached to the poses and what they think it should look like, and they want to look like they see in a book and graceful and beautiful, but yoga is really whatever it is though, and that's
I look like a donkey in an awkward position.
You just want to do whatever your body feels comfortable doing, and don't do what doesn't feel good for you, and who cares what it looks like, because that's not what it's about. So anyone can definitely get a DVD or look at some poses online, or get a book, or go to a class and just do whatever they feel comfortable with. And meditation, the same thing. All meditation is going within, and we're all capable of that, hopefully.
And I think that's great to start at a younger age. You know, I wish I had those resources younger too.
Especially meditation is one of the best things that children can learn young as a technique for anxiety, depression, worry. It will help with self-confidence, anything really. Once you learn to connect with yourself and your true nature, the possibilities are endless. It's great for kids.
It's probably easier too at a younger age, because you're not polluted with so many other ideas, and
you're not so socialized and enculturated with all kinds of crap. Right. So, children are often just closer to the source because they've only been amongst the craziness of humans for a shorter period of time, and so they're a lot more open, generally speaking, to things like intuition and meditation, and they remember how to play, which ultimately yoga and meditation is about play. Life is play. Life is love, and children remember that. We just forget because we get so serious.
Jen reminds me of that a lot. I'm serious by nature, you know.
No, you're playful by nature.
Right?
You're covered up with seriousness.
I'll go with that one.
Backwards and upright.
I like that better, actually. Yeah, well, you're taught to be responsible, be this, be that. So it's good to play, and that's what our retreats are about a little bit too.
Which it brings me into the retreats, because once again, just like I did research on you, stalking. It's 2 a.m, but whatever.
Outside my window.
Like, oh hi, I'll see you next week. I'm just getting over this cold, so whenever I laugh, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I'm like, camera on them. No. But anyways, I wanted to. You were saying how you weren't playful. Well, if you guys go to Soul Sisters SoulSistersRetreats.com.
SoulSisterRetreats.com.
Thank you. Soul Sister, singular, retreats, plural. .com. You'll see the pictures, which, Stash, you don't look like you're stuck up and serious at all. These girls are, Jen's in a tutu.
I love tutus, I wear them all the time.
And Stash is throwing up the peace sign, so That was awesome photography, by the way. So
Thank you.
Yeah,
We had a
it's
shoot
beautiful.
on Martha's Vineyard, which was my
Her favorite
place on the
ever.
earth. I think the energy there was amazing, and we had fun. We had so much fun. We just
Great
went on the
time.
beach. It was raining. We were frolicking around, so it was really fun. So that's how we got our pictures for our website.
So now tell me about Soul Sister Retreats.
Yeah, so Jen and I, like I said, we went to UMass Dartmouth together. We actually just knew each other for 1 year, which I think is pretty amazing, or less.
Less, I
And
think.
both had studied some psychology for undergrad and studied a couple times together, no big deal. But I always felt a special connection to her, and I didn't know what it was. I felt like a stalker.
Right.
And I know she
Everyone
had
stalks me, I'm
moved.
so awesome.
You can't help it. Your energy. But I looked her up and I found her. I was at a crossroads, I think, too, and I just wondered what had happened to her. I was sitting with my husband, I said, what happened to Jen? And I said, I'm going to Google her. And I found her, and she was a writer, and she lived in LA, and I'm like, it might not be her, but let's see. And I sent an email to an email address. It turns out she never
So crazy.
checked.
I hadn't checked that email in at least 2 years. It was my law school email that literally I didn't even use in law school that much, and I hadn't. And all of a sudden one night I was like, I should check my Pepperdine email, like, for no reason. And one of the first emails on there was from her.
It's probably
It's
not
crazy.
you. Like, I
Crazy.
signed it some weird name, so she'd only know if it was her. She'd write
Yeah.
back, and it was me, like code.
Yeah.
And she wrote back, and she was back in Massachusetts.
Yeah, and I was in town for the first time in years.
And we kind of had this parallel life and a lot of same
Yeah,
experiences
so
that
crazy.
really, like, she would say that, I would say that, and I'd be like, she would tell me things, and I'd be like, wait, you're psychic, huh? And she'd be like, maybe.
Maybe
like,
not.
but it really was this amazing, profound connection. I found a lot of peace in our friendship, a lot of truth in our friendship of the
Such
universe, where I was
support.
kind of searching, and a really great soul sister that, you know, is so nice to have, and we're so lucky to have the soul sisters, but we want more
Yes,
too,
yeah.
you know, and somebody that you have that connection with, and it's a bond. It's not just, you know, hey, how you doing? It's like a deep connection. So we were sitting on the couch about a few months ago. To fast forward, we re-met. Everything was great, and sitting on the couch drinking our Starbucks. I love Starbucks.
I do
Not just
too.
me, heart palpitations. But that's okay. And we just said, like, we wish other girls, other
Had what we
women
had.
had what we had. You want to start a retreat? Yep, done.
Yeah.
And that's how Soul Sister Retreats came about. And we just kind of got together her ideas and her work with yoga and meditation and all sorts of workshops and my spirit messenger readings, gallery readings, and intuitive development, and then a lot more that we offer at the retreat too. We'll talk a little bit more
Yeah.
about that and what people can expect. But we had it be a place where women can come together to heal in a luxurious setting, because we like
Yeah,
to
we
have
like
fun
nice
and nice
things.
things,
Right,
right? Who
right.
doesn't want that? A little pampering. And so we have them at Chatham Bars Inn, but we have other locations as well. And we have one coming up in January. So that's how we started.
So
And
what? So sorry.
Go ahead.
One thing about my show, I always tend to interrupt because I get excited.
Me
and
too.
I'm like,
We're like,
you know,
me
so,
too. Do it.
so I'm trying to
Bring it
cover
up.
them up into that. But anyways,
Cover it with
so
my
wait a
extensions.
minute. So wait. Did you say hand extensions?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to
Beautiful.
pull too hard. I always
I
wanna-
love them.
Wait,
I
you
want
have-
them.
Are yours
You can have
extensions
them.
too?
No, I wish.
No.
Steph has beautiful hair. She hasn't touched
Yeah, you
it
don't
at
need
all.
extensions.
I just cut it after like 6
That looks
months.
great.
Those girls' hair won't grow that long and thick.
I know.
Mine grows like crazy to the point where like.
But she doesn't color it. Like she
No,
doesn't
I
do
don't.
anything.
That's why
to
it grows
I'm
so
terrified
good.
to color my hair.
Don't
Like
do
I want
it.
to, I look at like I'm like looking at your hair like wow, what if my hair was that color? Like it looks so good.
I haven't colored mine
I'm
in years
so
too.
scared to do it, so I just gave up.
But
I'm
that's
like,
why
you know
yours is
what?
so healthy, though.
Yeah.
If I
That's
could
so
go
pretty.
back in time, I wouldn't touch my hair at all. I would just leave
We
it.
brought blonde. We brought Jen blonde for a little bit. That was fun.
That's why I have the extensions, because I just like fried my hair off.
It was an experience.
But yeah, it's fun.
See, we
It's over.
We get sidetracked. It doesn't matter who I have on. We're either talking about
We're
like,
girls.
yeah.
We're gonna talk about hair and makeup. There's no way around it.
So I'm trying not to laugh again. I'm like, but anyway, it's so bad. Seriously, that's why I'm doing that weird smile.
I like it.
She like having fun.
And please, like, obviously, if you notice, like, over baggage, just let me know. So, anyways, getting back to Soul Sister Retreats, can you tell me a little bit about the like itinerary? Because obviously you brought up the yoga. Excuse me, the
Yeah.
yoga and the
Favorite
meditation.
sprayer, right?
Yeah, I know.
We were saying, don't spray it. That was like so.
And this is great because the show, we don't do edits. Everything's live and
People love us though.
Yeah,
People love us how we are.
So you brought up the yoga and the meditation that you do, and Stash, you do the Spirit Messenger, which is gallery style readings, which you guys hear me talk about the stuff that I do, which is similar. Well, it is the same thing that Stasha does too. So she does gallery style readings and private readings and communicates with people that have passed. Now, can you tell me more? Yeah, like what's at the retreats?
Absolutely.
What can people expect?
Well, we have one coming January 14th and 15th. So this is a 2-day retreat. It's basically we take a new approach to mind, body, and soul. And like Sash said, we bring women together to create a healing environment, and we bring women techniques and workshops and different things that help balance them, help them center themselves, rejuvenate them. So in January, we'll be doing yoga, we'll be doing meditation, Stash will be doing her readings. And we'll also have a bunch of holistic practitioners come and do mini treatments. Because around this time of year, people get really stressed out with the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a very, very stressful, draining time. And so we want to give women different avenues and ways to heal themselves and center themselves. In addition to emotionally with things like meditation, also physically with yoga. We'll have a amazing nutritionist there to kind of help people jumpstart
Susie! Which Susie, if you're watching, we need you to get...
And Lauren.
I know. I've been trying to get them on. But she's so busy.
She's so busy. She's really tremendous what she does. Focus on holistic health.
She's unbelievable.
And what you take into your body.
Unbelievable.
And how that energy really affects you. It's made a
I
big
love
difference
her.
in my life.
I love her.
We love her.
So she'll be there teaching people her wisdom. So beautiful. And then also we'll have like Reiki, reflexology, massage, acupuncture, polarity, different modalities where people can start to heal the physical body, because the mind and body, as people know, are so connected. So we want women to kind of have these different experiences where they learn how to care for themselves in different ways.
Because it's so important. Sorry, go ahead.
It really is. And I think what's really unique about this retreat and what Jen does and what we do is like it's a new approach. So we just kind of wanted something a little bit fresh, a little bit funky, a little bit playful, but also deeply moving. So you really get that healing that you're searching for.
Profound experience.
It's very profound. A lot of women weren't expecting, I think, the kind of healing that they received, and were grateful. A lot of people slept afterwards. They could kind of maintain more balance, new beginnings.
A lot of people experienced really powerful catharsis at different points, whether it was meditation or yoga. Helping people to let go of the past is something I'm really passionate about.
It's really hard.
Yeah, it's very difficult for women. A lot of women just don't know how to go there inside and actually let go. And then a lot of times, if you have kids or you don't have a good friend, you don't have the environment where you feel supported enough to kind of drop it and let it go, it can be difficult. So I think we purposely put a lot of our energy into creating a space that's really beautiful and loving.
Yeah, we're really passionate and dedicated to our soul sisters, to their experience. We want to be phenomenal, and we had great feedback, and we want to be a sanctuary almost that they can really retreat
to.
That's
perfect. I love that.
That's my devotion.
It's true.
Yeah, it's an elegant sanctuary.
So it's a really nice sanctuary.
It's gorgeous.
It's crazy though, because I'm always, especially doing this. I mean, we all do a lot of the energy work, you know, and it's something that I'm very passionate about too. And I always try to tell people, and there's so many people that I come in contact with that just kind of give me that glazed over look, like, what do you mean? And you can just tell that they just haven't experienced that light yet, you know, and you. I get so excited. I'm like, don't you want to? Don't you want to do something? Yeah. Here yet. Meanwhile, they're like, not with you. Not with you. But I get so excited. I'm like, how can you not want to?
I think it comes to the right time.
Everything happens in its own time.
Yeah,
and people,
it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And I want to talk because Jen does this really amazing yoga. I've never really done yoga. She's doing a hip hop yoga, which I think is really fun, and we're also doing candlelit yoga by the beach under the moon.
And pretty, yeah.
So it's really nice. You can
go. For you guys that are just joining us, I'm here with Anastassia, spirit medium Anastassia Grace, and Jennifer Laleh.
That's good.
Thank you. And they've created this wonderful retreat called Soul Sister Retreats, and one of the main locations is the Chatham Bar.
Chatham Bar's in beautiful Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It's a 5-star, praised resort. It's on the water. Literally, our little office is on the water. So you come in and you sit on the sand. You look at the seals basking in the sunlight.
Yeah.
You eat gourmet food. You get pampered. You learn.
They have a gorgeous spa.
You chill out.
They have everything.
It's really good, and it's really wonderful that you don't have to go that far. You don't have to leave your kids or your husband or partner or whoever for that long. So you can kind of just say, I need a day, and come back.
And feel like
We all do.
A vacation.
Really nice.
That actually would be, before I say this, we have a ton of questions, so I want to start going through some questions.
Yep.
But FYI, that would probably be a great Christmas present. I'm just
holidays.
saying.
It really is. I think that people, rather than having a physical thing, could actually experience and heal and restore. I think that's so important.
I might be a stalker. I might be with the seals, like.
Could be Tiffany riding a seal. Can I come? You should totally come.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
I really want to.
You should come. I think it's good for light workers or other energy people.
Yeah.
It's good for anybody.
Rejuvenate.
And even like we had girls as young as 14. We had women as old in their late 60s.
Yeah,
Yep.
we had a few
Sisters,
teenagers
friends.
come. It's really good to give young girls this opportunity because especially I was listening to some of the girls and teenagers have so much pressure nowadays
Mhm.
and they
crazy.
don't speak to adults about it and they they might not
Sad,
be getting
yeah.
the best advice from their fellow 14-year-olds. So it's a good place for them to come and meet
That's when
people
you
who are
need it the
little
most,
exactly. It's
Shapes
crucial
everything.
time.
Yeah.
So
Steph,
Yes.
I know you've been
Writing
busy
away.
again. Yes.
Sorry,
So,
making you work.
First of all, I think we should go to the next retreat. I think that's a good
I
idea.
really want to go. What's the date? The 14th?
January 14th and
15th.
15th. We recommend that you stay over, but you do not have to.
Yeah.
But it's we have we got really good rates for everybody to come. It's inexpensive to stay over, so that's really good too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now that
we'd
I
love you
put
to.
that out there. We have a lot of questions. Does Stasha have animal intuitions? We know that she's done a lot of help with Flash the Missing Horse. So is it way different than connecting with humans?
It's not different at all. This has been hard because there has been a missing horse, and I've been literally.
I was like, what the hell are you talking about? You're trying to find a horse.
I have
I know.
OCD.
You're like,
literally.
last time, guys.
Yeah, I'm really touched by this, but to me, we have a soul, not a human body, not an animal body. We have a soul. So yes, I connect to dogs, to cats, to horses that have passed, but that obviously are still here too. I think they're the most unconditional, purest form of love, and to me, that's always what I go to. And I think that they're really compassionate, beautiful beings. I've even connected to a bearded dragon before, by name, and gerbils, fish, you name it. They have a soul and they can talk. It doesn't have to be in human form, but yes, I do. And I love my German Shepherd. So.
Okay. Has Jen ever had a paranormal experience while in a meditative state? If yes, please explain.
That's a funny question. So about a month before I met my teacher who was in human form, I had this dream, which of course I went to my spirit best friend about, but I was almost meditating and fell asleep meditating. I think before I knew what meditation was, I had a dream of this saint, this man with a white beard, and he said to me, I have to take away everything from you so that you'll know truth. And I woke up, you have those dreams.
Jen, this
wake
is like
up.
a movie.
My life is crazy. I'm so blessed, but I feel like a crazy person when I say it. But when she asked that question, I'm like, let's just let it all out. Yeah, I have to, because it's so funny. But it was so intense and real, and I had never seen that man before, and he was dressed like he was from another country, and it was so vivid. And the way he said, I have to take everything from you so that all that you'll have left is truth. I was like, what does that even mean? Like, what is this? And I woke up just drenched in tears. It was so powerful. The next day I meet this one at Starbucks, and I'm like, I had this dream of this man, and I don't know if he's alive. I knew it was real. I was like, he's either alive somewhere or he's dead, and he's telling me these things. And I was like, who is he?
Starts her
And then,
eye breathing.
yeah, and then she she gave me a couple things about who he was. He's passed, but he frequently tells me I'm a little psychic and a little bit of a medium myself, but I don't practice it or whatever.
Yeah.
But he frequently comes to me and tells me things and kind of guides me. So I always say I have two gurus. I have one in form and one not in form. One of them is in form, Steve Ross. He owns a yoga studio in LA. Very, very enlightened man. He owns Maha Yoga. He has a book called Happy Yoga. It's one of the best books in the world. Go buy it. And in Not in Form, his name is Osho, and he was a meditation master, I think, of like the 80s and 90s. I had never heard about him before, but it's a long story about how I came to know that that's who he is. But
we
that's
call him
who
the
he
white
is.
bearded man.
I just call him my white bearded man.
Right.
But yeah, so he helps me in meditation a lot. He taught me a lot.
I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy but true.
Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, the camera's still. Because I'm like, wait a minute. So wait, tell me more.
Just like
the first time I saw Anastassia outside of like doing a retreat, I met with her and Candy, and we were like, so wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was
rattling
just,
things
yeah,
off.
motor mouth. Like I just couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just couldn't
So
get
we
enough
have the
out. You
connections,
know.
Yeah. I love it.
Steph.
Next. Are angels real and do they interact with us?
Absolutely. My white bearded man is an angel, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stasha touched upon it too. This is your specialty show. I'll shut up in a minute. But at our core, we're not our body. We're not the human form. We're spirit. We're life force. We're energy. We're soul, whatever you want to call it. So when people pass, they just drop this container, but there's still that energy. There's still that force and that soul. And so all angels are the same energy that we are, just not limited by this human container. So they're there just like we are. They just don't have this.
I agree.
Me too.
I concur.
Does everyone have spirit guides?
I think so. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I'm gonna answer. Well, I think I do. I believe in that. To be honest with you, I've never met any of my spirit guides.
I can't really say I have either. I was seeing my brother as my spirit guide.
Yes, I use my, like,
Naturally.
whenever time, I always revert back to my dad. Like, I always have that sense that he's always around.
I think it's for me, it's like a force rather than one person.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Kind
is
of.
also, everyone has that. If you want to get deep for 1 second, your greatest spirit guide is your true self, which is what, when we meditate, that's what we access as our core, underneath all the, which is why I gave away all my stuff and went all crazy with it, to let go of all of this and go inside to what my true self is, my true nature, my true energy, which we all have and we forget because we identify with the physical so much. But that's our spirit guide, is our self, our true self, our
That's
soul.
spirit. That's
It's
your
the
spirit.
same underlying
I'm
energy.
just so excited right
Everywhere,
now.
yeah. So we all have that, and you can access what you
Mhm.
meditate. So you
Yeah.
might not call it that, but when we meditate or when we get quiet or still, we access that supreme intelligence, which is the same as any external spirit guide living within us. It's
Same
literally
thing.
one energy, literally. Kind of broken off into little pieces, but it's one. It's absolutely one.
Yeah. And I think that as a medium, you can, I don't know if you agree with this, but you can, like, I guess I'm an evidential medium, meaning I provide names, facts, dates, personalities,
Yes.
things I could not know. It's not possible for me to know, and that's the only way I like to do it. But that you're connecting to one energy, I think, but then they almost validate their form, I think, here on Earth. It's a lot to think about. I think about this all the time, and I always ask Jen, what do you think about that? What do you think
Can't
about
get
that?
to it by thinking.
I know, feeling. But, she always does this to me. She makes me feel, not think. Which is hard to do.
I try, it doesn't work
But
out.
it's true. I think that she's really in touch with the core, and so I want that truth. I crave that truth too. So I think it's a combination of one force altogether separately.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I love this right now.
What do you think?
Steph does too. She's like, I wish I didn't have to write.
Which is weird because normally you guys have a normal table, so I'm looking up at all of you.
I know.
Trying to see everybody's face. Like,
She's the tallest one in here
We're at the
too.
kids' table tonight.
We should have put a candle or something.
Make me more festive all along. Do you guys ever do co-ed retreats or co-ed classes?
I get asked about that all the time.
I was kind of surprised.
We eventually will.
Bring on the dudes.
Yeah, they need love too.
Yeah, I think
well.
men need love too. Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, we will.
Because it's still brand new. I mean, you had your first retreat, in October?
We sold out in a week. About 70 people. We weren't expecting that, so we fill up quickly.
crazy.
So if you're interested, book your spot now. But yeah, we're going to be doing more.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll want everyone.
Eventually we'll incorporate them in.
Yeah.
Poor guys. All right. Somebody had a question about mediums being male or female. Do you think it can be both, or are there about an equal amount of male mediums or female mediums, or are women just more vocal about their abilities?
I think it's interesting with our culture, maybe, if you want to come out and say, I have this gift. That was really hard for me to do.
Right.
I also worked in a corporate job for many years. I was a recruiter, ran a business. But I think I don't really connect again when I'm reading somebody, when I bring through a spirit. Usually I can tell if it's male or female right away, but to me that's just an identification. It's not really them. So I don't know. I know male mediums and female mediums. I don't think it's a gender thing, but I think it's less socially acceptable in our culture to be a man and kind of say, hey, I have this gift. Because they want to fit in.
I do want to bring something up too, because someone had asked me a question prior, and they said, it's kind of the same type of question that Steph had just asked from somebody, saying, if it's a difference between male, female. I also got, I had a question that somebody asked, well, what about age or race? And how I always address it, I always feel like everybody has this gift. Everybody can tune in at any time,
It's how you think about that person they call.
Exactly. It's not limited. There's no limit, or there's no boundaries to it. It's endless. You just have to learn, how to listen to your gut and go with it.
A lot of what we do on the spirit level, which is why me and Stash came together, because we really deal in the more subtle aspects of life and the more subtle energy that kind of underlies everything with meditation and mediumship. And so the subtle transcends these physical things that we're talking about, like age, gender, race, creed, financial situation, all of that. The subtle doesn't have anything to do with that.
I think it's just an illusion. Like gender, this, that, it's an illusion. Yeah. You can't have their soul. That's all I care about.
Exactly.
That's all for now.
We got through all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I was surprised.
I know. For a while there, it was making me nervous. I was writing in shorthand, trying to remember, okay, that's what that question's about. I have to say it the right way, but...
Oh, good. All right. So we can talk more about the retreats then. Good.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I gotta cut them off, because I was seeing Steph turning the page. I'm like, oh, what do I do?
We have a question from the other room, though. They want to know if eating chocolate affects abilities.
I'll talk a little bit about that.
There actually is an answer.
And from meditating and restricting my diet so heavily during that time that I did nothing, I learned the effects that food have on the mind and the body, which affects your ability to meditate, or to be a medium. When you ingest things like sugar and caffeine, it has a very hyperactive effect on you. And when those types of things, what they do is they stimulate the mind. And a lot of times, in order to read or be intuitive or meditate or connect with the more subtle areas of life, you need to still the mind a little bit. Right. And so eating foods that agitate and make you think and kind of freak you out, for lack of a better term, will really cut you off from, at most points. When you kind of get beyond all that, it doesn't affect you anymore. But for most people, when you ingest that, it's going to directly affect your ability to still and access that. So if they're beginners and they're trying, whether it's meditation or intuition, anything more subtle, I would say stay away from caffeine, sugar, chocolate, anything that's considered a stimulant would be not good.
Yeah, I absolutely cannot have caffeine. I don't know how you
There's a really good supplement called GABA, Pharma GABA, which actually has the opposite. You can get it at Whole Foods or any kind of health food store, GABA. It's kind of the opposite of caffeine or sugar. It takes you down and kind of stills you a little bit. So that's a good thing for people to take if they want.
And I think Live Energy, Jen's a vegetarian. I don't know if you are or not, but I eat meat. it's not my preference, but I feel like I need the protein. But I don't get bad comments about that. But you know, I think live food, when I eat salad, or not dense foods, when I have smoothies, you know, that really affects my readings. I can see a huge difference if I don't do that and if I do that, of the validations for people.
Yeah.
So I think it really is
subtle,
something.
my teacher, he's raw, vegan, and basically just lives off of like water and salad and a couple smoothies, because it keeps him so subtle and connected to the kind of still force.
That's what I say it too. Like during the show, a lot of times we've gotten that question before. Like, does diet influence?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, your
For most
readings,
people,
or
I think
it's
it
true.
does.
Like, you always hear like anything that's like really hard to digest, like maybe like a red beet. You know, it would be.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
And alcohol, of course, for most people, will throw you off a little bit.
Yeah, you should never do a gallery reading while intoxicated. But I wanted to ask you another question. As you were talking, and you went through this life-changing event in your life.
Absolutely.
How long was this period in your life for?
It was about 2 years. It was close to 2 years where I kind of just like swore off almost the whole external world, where I quit my job and stopped talking to a lot of my friends, cut off relationships, limited and purified my lifestyle and diet. It was about 2 years.
To go to India to find
And
her.
I was when I got down
like,
to my
she's
last
going.
$200, and I was like so peaceful and serene, and I really am just I have such a different experience of life now.
I understand.
It's profound.
Well, I didn't give everything up, but I understand it.
I was down to nothing. I was like, I refuse to live normal again. I'm not gonna like get another job and get married and do all that stuff that people just do. I'm just gonna move to India and sit on a mountain somewhere, and then
I had to find her.
And
I can't live without her. So.
and then I decided not to do that, which is ultimately why I'm here right now. But now I have that peace, like I said, regardless. I've entered the world again. I have normal relationships. I go shopping. I go to restaurants. Like, I do normal things again. And I'm at my core, I'm still and happy and peaceful regardless. So that's kind of why I'm with her now. To spread the love a little bit and teach other people. So
It's absolutely awesome. I love it. I love it
too.
Well, I mean,
glad.
like I said, the first experience I've had with a retreat was the Hope Floats retreat, and Denise Brack is the owner of the bereavement. It's a nonprofit organization called Hope Floats out of, again, Kingston, Mass. And I think she limits it to 25 people where she is.
Different for different mediums or different events. She has different things. I do shows no larger than 20 people because I like to get to everybody.
Yeah.
But usually it's a smaller kind of thing.
But
more
still,
intimate.
the idea, like the retreats that she had, I mean, it was, you know, you had the Reiki masters, you had the people that were giving the polarity, you had the people giving the readings, and Susie.
I even read at that
I
place.
know.
Remembering
Oh my
that,
gosh.
as you said that.
Remember I couldn't drive home. I did so many readings. This is how I learned not to read, 50 people in a day. Literally by the end of the day, I was on the couch, like, someone's got to drive me home. So learning boundaries is a good thing, too.
Well, you do, and a lot of times you have to experience it in order to learn from it.
Yeah.
So you can be like, oh.
Yeah, and I think it's hard. Like, I also struggle with, like, being in the spirit world and being human, and having that balance is kind of hard to do, But it all works out.
You know what I just remembered as you're talking about it? The first, like, we met at Hope Floats, but that same night, I don't know if you remember this. This is a side story, but my car was getting dropped off, and the mechanic never showed up. So I was standing alone in the rain.
I do remember
by
that.
myself, and everybody was driving away, and I didn't have a raincoat, I didn't have an umbrella, and I'm just like, oh.
Where's everybody?
And finally you're like, beep beep, you want to come and sit? And I was like, all right.
Come on in.
But we do only have 10 minutes left, so it's definitely like flying by. So I do want to go over a couple more. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say we gave our website on people know how to reach us. They can also reach us on Facebook too.
Yeah. No, on Facebook. What's your name?
Soul Sister Retreats. It has both of our pictures there. I am Spirit Medium Anastassia Grace, just like the movie. Anastasia with one more S, so Anastassia Grace. And Jennifer is on Facebook too, and she has some new ventures coming up too.
What's your new ventures?
Maybe.
Oh, sorry. You're like, I wasn't going to announce it.
I'm like, shut up, it's a secret. Just kidding. I'm in the process of opening up a yoga studio, yoga and meditation studio.
Where? Oh, wait, sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna
You
be.
can tell me
okay.
after.
It should be opening within maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Just starting to pick out all the pretty furniture and everything right now.
Oh, can you please talk about this
it's
after
gonna
this
be.
a little bit?
Yeah.
Or can you tell me where it is now?
It's gonna be in Dartmouth, Mass, which is a little south on State Road, right near the fire station. So that's in the works, and I'll keep everyone updated through the Soul Sister Retreats page. I'm gonna offer a lot of
So exciting!
meditation classes, guided meditation, hip hop yoga to open your heart, which will be a slower, more loving flow. I want to create, like we did with Soul Sister Retreats, a beautiful
you have
space.
To experience it.
So
for
I feel
people
like
to
I'm in your
come and
personal
be
space because as you're talking, I'm getting closer. Like,
What's up?
Hey! Sweet! Let's talk about this. Pretty soon I'll have the leg up. I know.
We'll be
I'm sorry.
cuddling right
I
here.
know. I knew the car was gonna come. I knew it. I
couldn't hold the
I
roller
couldn't. It's so ugly. I'm so sorry. Now my armpit is out of control. So we keep it classy here on Spirit Connection. But anyway, I'm so sorry. But that is awesome.
Yeah.
Can you say the name? Or are you withholding?
I'm gonna leave that
Okay.
to be for now. Yeah, it's gonna be a mystery, but it's in the works, and like I said, within the next month, a little over a month, it'll be up, and I'll update everyone on Facebook. So join our Soul Sister Retreats, like us on Facebook, and check out the website. The yoga studio will have its own website soon, but I'll let everyone know via Soul Sister's Facebook page.
And so, Stash, what do you have coming up? Any events?
So I've been crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Just trying to keep up with everything. Unfortunately, I've had to close out. I had a waiting list for private readings. I've had to close it out to focus on the people I do have right now. I'm still taking group readings, family readings, and I'm really concentrating on the retreats of kind of really making a healing experience for people that are coming. And I'll have some other small groups coming up after the new year. Everything I have now it has been sold out, but they can contact me on Spirit Medium Anastassia Grace and inquire about readings, and if I can't read you privately or personally, I can refer you to other great people. I'm
just kidding. They're like, with that pit, you're not coming near me.
That's why we go see.
I know.
Just for that.
Yeah. That's why I'm leaning back. I'm like, good job, guys. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's been really great. I've been really blessed. I've met amazing, wonderful people. I just love what I do. I'm just trying to take it one day at a time.
That's what you have
and help
to do.
as many people as I can, and eventually open up that list again. So if they'd like to join my newsletter, I send out a monthly newsletter. In addition to Soul Sister Retreats, they can reach me at anastassia.grace@yahoo.com.
Yay! And so, Jen, they can reach you on Facebook at Jennifer.
Laleh. Yeah, it's Jennifer, Jennifer, Laleh. They can also reach me at Jennifer@soulsisterretreats.com if they want to send me an email. Or if they go to Soul Sister Retreats website, at the bottom there's a little link to email us, and I check the email mostly. So info@soulsisterretreats is another great way to reach me.
And the next retreat is when?
January 14th. We're almost sold out. So if you go right to the website, upcoming retreats page, sign up. You can register there.
Yeah, we're going to have a dance off.
Yeah, it's going to be
We're going to have fun. We're going to have so much fun. If you come and join us, you'll get a lot from it. So.
Yeah.
Wait, do you guys want to have one more question? Do you guys mind?
No.
We might go over a couple minutes.
Yes, first, Stasha, it's 11-year-old Carly that you met with her mom 3 times. Her dad passed away. She wanted to send her love to you.
Oh, I love you, Carly. I was thinking about you today.
She wanted to know if you can connect to spirit in this type of venue.
It's hard to do. I can, but I really like to sit with the person. I've got a lot of requests from across the nation, actually, for Skype readings and phone readings, which I can do and I've done, but I really like to have like an in-person energy. But I know that her dad sent in his love and always with her. She's very special.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Thanks, Steph.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
That's
Steph.
our last question. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, if you missed any of the info that these girls are telling me, or telling us, I should say, go to my Spirit Medium Tiffany page on Facebook and like it, and I will be more than happy to spread the word. I feel like I've been like a posting bonanza of like, catch us, and I've been like tagging nonstop. But it's all because
it's really great. We feel the love.
Yeah.
We're sending it back. So thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you
a lot.
guys very much for
Thank
coming
you.
on the show. I hope you
It was
guys come on
great.
again.
Fun. We will.
And once again, guys, we have I thought we had to wrap it up right away, but we could definitely
like
stretch
it.
it out a little bit more. Okay.
Encore.
Done.
After
Okay.
presentation.
I know. So, anyways, the retreat's going to be the 14th.
Yep.
Now, you had mentioned that you can have your choice whether it's a overnight or if it's...
Yeah, people, if they couldn't, stay overnight, we recommend it. And once people got to the retreat, they were saying, I wish I stayed over. The rooms are so beautiful. I wish I could do this. Some of the rooms have saunas in them. Like, they're just amazing.
That's the room that's definitely going to be.
Jacuzzis. Like, I was
That's
all
what we
over
get.
it. Like, I almost didn't go to the retreat. I was just in the
Yeah, that's
tub.
what we got to our rooms and we're like, we're not leaving.
So
We're
they
staying
could
here.
drive down, but if you can
Yeah.
stay overnight, it's really inexpensive. It's really affordable. It covers your breakfast and lunch, and it's all gourmet.
I was just going to ask you that, if
It's
it
really-
covered
they have,
anything
like,
for the next
chicken
day.
ricotta and salmon.
Yeah, I think they have the chef
yummies.
from the Ritz-Carlton in Boston, so
Yep.
it's top-notch
Wow.
food.
It's
It's,
really
very,
nice.
very good. And like Stash mentioned, a lot of the women who didn't, our last one was a one-day retreat, and just the experience of being with the women and the camaraderie and the friendships and everything
like-minded
that they
people.
built,
Yes.
they didn't want to leave right away. And so to stay through all that way and really be with those women
It's amazing.
overnight for 2 days,
I
think
felt
is
so
just
good.
so beautiful and beneficial. We were
It
just
really
crying
is.
ourselves because it
Crying.
was so beautiful.
So
We
moving.
couldn't even stand it.
And people came alone. People were afraid to come alone.
And they met really,
But they
really
did.
good friends. So.
Yeah, and really happy. I thought that was a brave thing to do, and it's kind of like taking that risk.
Yeah,
That
put
Anais
yourself
Nin
out
quote
there.
that you have, I think it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, to just open yourself up
Yeah.
and allow yourself,
I'm
And
so
it's
into this right now.
It's amazing. It really
Yeah.
is, and just trying to keep up with it, but it's been really,
Yeah.
really great.
And I'm telling you guys, I've been to I helped at the Floats retreat, so that's what I can tell you about. But I'll let you know that after being in a room filled with so many like-minded people, and whether they do energy work or whether they're just there to participate, I left that place feeling like nothing,
Yeah.
everything could just bounce off of me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
nothing bothered
That's the
me. I was happy. And again, like I was in like a dark place at the time when I
Yeah.
first went there, and when I left, I
We can
remember
relate to that, We've all
everybody
been there.
can.
yeah, exactly. Everybody goes through life, and,
Right.
and
Yeah.
life isn't always fun and
Pretty,
flowers, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So I do highly recommend you guys going to check out Soul Sister Retreats. Hopefully you'll see Steph and I there in January.
Yay.
That's what we're...
We'll have pictures.
Steph and I that's gonna be our Christmas gift to each other.
I think that's
But definitely for
yeah.
Christmas, because it's limited to what,
worthwhile
75
investment.
people?
A little
Yeah,
bit. We
is it?
changed it, but yeah, we're
Oh,
that-
we're good.
more than halfway full already right
Yeah.
now. So
All
Just
right.
sign up soon.
yeah.
Well, thank you very much,
Thank
guys,
you.
and I would
Thank
love to
you.
have you guys on again.
Thank you so much.
And I want to thank you guys for tuning in again to another fun-filled week at Spirit Connections. So definitely check Spirit Connections out again next week, December 13th, 8 p.m. And go to my Spirit Medium Tiffany page and like it, and you'll be able to see who's going to be on next week. All right, guys, have a good night.